My name is Dolapo Koye and I joined for the first time the CEO's community group, but interestingly, I'm not a member of Covenant Nation. So I heard a message this year by Pastor Koju. He was talking about the strategy for the church. And what was interesting for me was what he said about, the fact that being in the same group as people who have the same interests, showing how it is actually answered prayer. I remember him sharing a testimony about a lady who had been struggling at work and she joined a community group. And because of the things she had learned, she had been in that organization for so long, and then people said, have you actually been here? It was interesting for me, but I think more importantly was the fact that I actually acted on it, because ordinarily I just said, okay, that's their church, but I think it was God orchestrating it, because I had been preparing myself for a role, and it just resonated. I just went and started checking, and I saw this CEO group. I said, okay. I
was part of the CEO community group. I served as an assistant governor in the last semester. For me, what strikes me most is the opportunity for CEOs to gather together, people of like minds, with the same values, and of course the same faith, to look at how we can leverage from one another, how we do business, learn from one another, also share notes, encourage one another, and also be able to learn from people that have done things that we're doing or we're trying to do.
For me, it's the beauty of the diversity. It's an amazing collection, mix of people from different backgrounds, different careers, different experiences, all coming together to share what they've learned. I'll give you an example. So in the parenting community group, you had parents with newborn, you had 2 to 3-year-olds, you had the 5-year-old, 7, 10. So in the parents community group, we had parents with children who've had experience over several years. So for me, that's really unique.
My name is Paul Ungbe, and I was part of the Senior Managers Committee Group 2.
My name is Jide Adeyemi. I was part of the governance group.
My name is Francis Faka, and in the previous session, I was in the Senior Managers Group. Amongst us, you could basically find solutions to any problems you had at that level. I mean, there were contacts, there were people that I met that I know I was going to need sometime in the future. We never know how life turns out. Some of us will end up doing business together. Some of us will end up working as colleagues in the future. So it was quite interesting for me. Contacts, very, very important. As most of us know, at the level of a senior manager, it's not really about what you know anymore. It's really about who you know.
Yep.
It's really political. You see, that's where it ties into what you're doing
as well.
Yeah. So I was talking about the impact of, which is the knowledge sharing, and the kind of knowledge is those who are actually doing the things you want to do, coming to share knowledge. One of the impacts, I take example from having Sheyi Adisa, who is a member of the House of Assembly in Oyo State, coming to talk to us about Christian participation in politics, and all of the worries you have about the process and all that. Someone who had gone through it and who do not compromise his faith, coming to tell you that this is the way to go about it, and all of that. So that can become very motivating for you, even if you are discouraged. Somebody who had walked that path is coming to tell you what to do. You've been able to leverage any of the relationship that you started from?
Yes. For instance, in the Project Management Institute, Nigerian chapter, which I'm the president, we are having our conference in November, right? So I was able to leverage on one of our group leader to be one of the speakers, right? So I had that, and then other project managers who were in that senior community group had the opportunity to join the local PMI chapter. I give them free $30 code, right? They were like amazed, right? And they didn't know that existed, right? And I was like, hey, I'll send a code, free $30, join the membership of local chapter, and then they did. So for me, it's really made meaningful impact.
In our own group, we have book reviews, we have industry presentations where we actually learn from each other's industry and actually rub minds together and broaden our minds together and see how we can work together collaboratively to actually, spin up projects or deals that may actually come off.
The community group makes me feel really good.
I have 3 words: blessed, favored, and fortunate.
I've felt empowered. It's been impactful for me. It's been life transforming.
I felt like I had a think tank team and a mastermind team combined in one space. So for me, that was like amazing.
If you read the book of Acts, after Jesus had gone and left the disciples, here on earth, the Bible says that they were breaking bread from house to house. Another way of looking at it is that they were having a lot of fellowship with themselves. It doesn't just connote eating, it also meant they were sharing life experiences, they were encouraging themselves, they were advising themselves. And I think that is what being a community group actually helps to achieve.
I'm encouraging you to go on www.tcncommunitygroups.org and join a community group. There's a community group for everyone.